The Tony Farina Report is brought to you by West Her Automotive. West Her cares. And Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel off exit 48 in the New York State Thruway. BataviaDownsGaming.com.
Welcome back to The Big Picture. The Erie County Sheriffs are tasked with keeping several areas of our hometown safe. In part 2 of his one-on-one interview, reporter Tony Farina continues his conversation with Sheriff John Garcia.
Good day, this is Tony Farina. I'm here at the Erie County Jail in Buffalo on Delaware Avenue with the newly elected sheriff, although you've been in office for more than a year now, John Garcia. You've also got a pretty good staff here. You brought one of your former colleagues at the Buffalo Police Department, Under Sheriff William Cooley, whose father was Joe with State Police, who I know quite well. How's he doing?
He told me to tell you, hey Streets, take care of yourself, and he's doing great, and I am so blessed to have Under Sheriff Bill Cooley. He is definitely the smartest guy here, and it's just a workhorse. And he knows the game. He's been in it. This is about professional law enforcement. Right. My administration is made up of, I can't even tell you who's a Democrat and a Republican. It doesn't matter to me. It's the people I've met throughout my professional law enforcement career that I said, this person is not only talented, but he cares. He cares. You got to have that empathy in this profession. Well, and if you don't have it,
I always said that about reporters too. If you don't feel anything, you're in the wrong game.
Yeah, it's about integrity and honor and empathy, and just you know, and that's how we are in Western New York. We take care of people.
It is. Thank God, because we deal with a lot of other things that aren't so good, like the weather.
Look at the last 12 months, what we've had to endure. You know, I mean, with the tragic loss of our firefighter just recently, and going backwards, the two storms, 47, 48 people lost their lives in 2023 or 2022.
Those were horrible storms.
Horrible.
Now, recently you spoke out in connection with the young man from, was it Binghamton he was from?
Broome County.
Broome County.
Yes, sir.
Who drove here in a planned execution of blacks at the Tops Market in Buffalo. And he was convicted by a state Supreme Court jury, and he's facing life in prison. And also there's a decision now to be made by the federal judicial system, the federal U.S. attorney, whether or not to try this individual for a possible death sentence. Now, you spoke out about that. And what was your feeling about that? His name was Peyton Gendron, I believe is his name. Now, he's not going to get out of jail. He's 20, 21 years old, but it was a heinous, unbelievably brutal crime that killed 10 people, I believe.
Yes. He, this individual, we don't say his name here, other than his inmate number, and he's no longer with us, which is good. 19 years old now. He came here from Broome County. He stalked, and he did surveillance on his victims prior to what he did, Tony. And he drove all the way from Broome County. And
he'd apparently been here before, too.
He had been here before.
Yeah.
And then he decides to put a GoPro on his helmet, and he begins to execute people. And he kills 10 innocent African Americans, only because of the color of their skin. And as he's going through the aisles, and there's injured people, he kills African Americans, and he spares the lives of those that are white and apologizes. Now, if we're going to have a death penalty, do you see another case that merits it more than this? Now, it's up to the U.S. Attorney.
This case, Trini Ross.
Yes, and her boss in Washington, as to what's going to happen.
And Washington will ultimately call this one, I'm sure.
Right. And there's a moratorium right now in the death sentence, and as I understand. I was asked a question, and my answer is this, is if we're going to have a death sentence, there's no one other case that merits it more than this person. He planned it, he executed it, he pled guilty, you know,
That's right,
prior
pled
to his
guilty.
trial.
Yeah, yeah.
Showed no emotion.
Right.
Now, you know, I know.
No remorse at all. I mean, he did apologize, but
More importantly, I think, you know, in our profession, we are here to prevent crime.
right.
Does the death sentence prevent crime? You know, there's arguments on both sides. But here's an individual, Tony, that he didn't take his life after he did this. He didn't attempt suicide by cop. He gave up to spare his life. And to spare his life, he took life in jail. So he doesn't want to die. If there's a copycat out there and he sees that we impose a death sentence when you kill 10 people, when you do this heinous crime in Uvalde, maybe it'll prevent and deter others from doing it. I don't know what the answer is, but we have to do something. We've had more active shooting cases this year in this country than ever before.
Now, as we know, as you know, there's been an epidemic of gun violence across the country. And we've had our share of it here in Buffalo and Erie County. How do you deal with all that? I mean, you see guns everywhere.
Right. So, you know, New York State has some of the strictest gun laws.
Wish you could go get a gun.
We don't need any more gun laws,
No.
no more legislation. And what's occurring is that a minority, criminals, are affecting everyone else's right to carry. You know, it's not the good people that follow the rules, that go and get their permit, that do their classes and never have an issue. It's those that ruin it for everyone else, and it's like that with everything. It's like that with everything. And I you know, a sheriff, do I agree with people that burn the flag? I don't. But they have their First Amendment right to do so, and I will protect them.
Right.
Now,
But you've got to protect the law-abiding citizens too from some of these people that are out there.
I will tell you this, law enforcement cannot be out there to protect you at all times. So the Second Amendment is pretty clear that you have the right to bear arms, and you have the right, however, you have to follow steps to get a carry concealed license. And if you do so, you have every right to make that happen. I don't think that our generation now, and what we're dealing with, should dilute the freedoms that we have for our grandkids and others because we can't figure it out, Tony.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So, Sheriff, thank you very much. And I know you've got a busy work schedule every day. What's your role, real quickly, in Buffalo law enforcement in the city? Now, you were at Buffalo PD for 25 years. It's a little different here now.
It is. So, you know, we work very closely with the Buffalo Police Department. Our narcotics squad is out there all the time working, and we're about having these regional resources that others don't have. Our bomb squad, our our helicopter, and so on, our arson investigators. So, but we cover half the county, area-wise, a third of the population, and we do so with 161 road deputies. That's a big
task.
It's a big task.
Yeah.
And we provide, like I said, regional resources. Our civil division is the one that executes all the evictions and so forth, collects all the court fees. So we provide a lot of assistance to our neighboring law enforcement agencies. But we have a great working relationship here in Erie County with local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. And we've had some really great work that's being done every single day.
You must have known Joe Gravalia pretty well.
Absolutely.
Before he became Buffalo Police Commissioner.
And that's
great guy.
And that's what's great about Western New York, right? You get on the phone, you call somebody, and you get it done. This is about doing the people's work.
I'm all in favor of that, by the way. I used to call people too.
Yeah. I'm just a caretaker of the office for 4 years. And I'm going to, hopefully, God willing, leave it in a better place than I found it.
Well, that's terrific. Thank you very much, Sheriff John Garcia, for spending time with us, taking time from a busy schedule. And we're glad to have you on this show, the Big Picture Show with Tony Farina. We'll do it again soon. All the best to you. And thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We had a great interview with Sheriff John Garcia.
Thank you, Tony, for that report. Recently, our friend Mike Villani invited John DeShulo to take the hometown camera to Cradle Beach Camp to participate in the Penguin 5K run. While there, we were able to visit the Jim Kelly cabin and get an update on the mission of how this century-old institution has helped children.
6 minutes until the start.
Hey, why are you running today?
Well, it seemed like a good idea when I registered. We are here to celebrate our 28th annual Penguin Run here at our Cradle Beach campus. This is the first time we're having it here on our 66-acre campus in Angola. So it's an exciting day because there's a lot of work that went into this, especially after COVID. We've, re-inspired it and we're building it back up. So we're excited.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Penguin Run to benefit Cradle Beach.
It started, I think it was the first year the Buffalo Bills weren't going to Super Bowls, and we were hanging out at our Hangout Classics 5 on the Magavals Boulevard, which at the time was just a bar. I said, guys, what are we going to do tomorrow? There's no game. And so I measured off a 1.5 mile on the Amherst bike path. We ran down and back to get our 5K. 24 people showed up, and the thing took off. And then the next year I ran into somebody here at Cradle Beach, and they asked me what we raised money for. I said, we don't raise money. And ever since that second year, it's just mushroomed.
Normally I run for office, and today I'm running in a road race. Yes, I am.
So explain your connection to Cradle Beach.
I was a board member with Cradle Beach for about 12 years. I'm on other boards. I'm supporting the Veterans Restoration Posts. So I've stepped down, but I'm a big supporter of Cradle Beach. It's very important to the disability community. And I think I'm doing, John, more work as a non-board member than I did as a board member.
Cradle Beach was founded in 1888 as the Fresh Air Mission with the sole purpose of serving underprivileged children from the city of Buffalo.
We have an overnight summer camp that is going to be kicking off in June, as well as our respite programs. And we also share our campus with the community and with other nonprofits and other organizations and academic institutions, and helping them experience the beauty here of our campus.
My favorite thing about Cradle Beach is that anyone can come here. Whether you have a disability or not, whatever kind of economic background you're from. And so it's kind of a melting pot of all these kids from different experiences in life, and they all just kind of come and hang out around a campfire. It's kind of beautiful.
The money that we raise from the Penguin Run, 100% goes to bringing kids physically to camp. So it doesn't go for administration and all that. So I'm kind of leery about that with charities. So the kids have been hurting for the last couple of years because we can't bring them. And this money that we're going to raise today and in the future brings kids physically here to camp. So that's the part that I like.
We are only sustainable with the support of our donors, and our campus is large, has a lot of needs in order to stay sustainable, and so donations can be brought to Cradle Beach in many different ways. Our website, www.cradlebeach.org, we have a variety of opportunities to become a Cradle Beach Crusader, which is recurring gifts to be able to support our children in our camperships coming to Cradle Beach. We have volunteerism. There's so many ways to be able to support. We're also hiring counselors. We're recruiting campers for the summer season, so lots of opportunities, and we welcome the opportunity to give a tour to anybody who would like to come to our campus. Just reach out, give us a call, 716-549-6307.
Thank you, John and Mike. Remember, to find out more, go to their website, cradlebeach.org. That's all the time we have for this edition of The Big Picture. I'll see you next week.